A lot of my works revolve around systems and how to break them. My name is Cecilia Rebergen. I'm an artist from Utrecht and I work mainly in sculpture and installation art. People try to grasp the world around them and they need systems for that, apparently. And for me these systems are so interesting because they also make things less complicated, but they're not completely true. So what I do in my work is I try to break these systems. First I build them up and then with a physical action I break them down again. So I systematically paint, for example, buildings or scripts or other pretty straightforward things. And then I squeeze them with a truck or I ride over them with a car or I have a wish to squeeze them between the big doors of my studio as well. In the case of the work that I'm making now, things are going to be thrown in the air and then they sort of collapse and then slowly they will start to make a knot. Doesn't always work what I try to do. So if you run something over with a truck, there's a big chance that your work just breaks. I choose materials because they need to take quite a bit of, violence. So they need to be very strong and malleable. So they need to be able to move around and I need to be able to move around with them. This is, for example, a great material that I use. It's industrial rubber. It is very sturdy, so it has to be a bit flexible, but not too much. And the paint that is on it, of course, it needs to be good with the outside conditions. So it has to be okay with rain, weather, storms, everything. And that's why I also like to use industrial materials. So I investigate systems, now mainly writing systems. This is the language or the script that started everything for me. This is linear A, and for me this was super interesting because it sort of lives on the border between a pictogram and something abstract. So I started researching this a lot. I spent, I think, 5 years on it. One of the other interesting ones that is like below here, Ogham, which is a language that was used in Ireland. This is also a nice one. It's called Rongo Rongo, you know, Easter Island. It's very difficult to write because it has so many details and there's no one on Easter Island now being able to read this. The script of the city was commissioned by gemeente Utrecht. There was months of drawing and researching and trying to find the best fragments. So, for example, one script might only have one variety and another would have 20. So I sort of try to give every script group the same attention. So every sign that you see here and here, it has to be made in one shot. So the paint is also called one shot. You have one shot to do it right. With this one, for example, that was very hard because it's a bit complicated. With other languages that are more in sort of the flow, it was doable, but yeah. I would like to make work that belongs to my oeuvre. You can recognize that it's my work, but I try to do something with the space. Try to sort of feel what the place needs, really. What people come there, what do people do when they're there, for example. Sometimes it's a better idea to just hang it on the building itself, because the building is sort of inviting me to fill a certain gap.